All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hey, I'm Bob Caperton. It's March 30th, 2024. Appreciate everybody coming. We're gonna do a short workshop this morning. Basically, we're gonna talk about how to take your completed images, those that you've already edited and cropped and they're ready to go, you're happy with them, how to finish those into a piece of art that you can display in your own home, or you can do it for gift giving or for sale. So we're gonna go through a bunch of different methods for doing that, three of which I'm gonna physically do a step-by-step hands-on. Here, we'll do that together. We'll put some items together. And then I've also brought along some items that you can order from vendors that sometimes it's hard to figure out how they look until you've physically seen them. So I'm gonna demo a few of those items. Cool? Everybody good? All right. Let's just start off with the easiest. So I'm real sure you've all heard of and seen or made on your own canvas images, right? Okay. So canvas images are pretty cool. You can buy them bulk. You can order them by the truckload, or you can find them in rest stops and things like it, tourist places. So it's a pretty common methodology for taking your finished image into something that you want to display. But in my mind, it leaves some things to be desired, right? So let me cover a few of those things. So first off, if you're selling your work, everybody and their brother offers canvas stretched images, right? On a wooden frame, canvas stretched. There's nothing really unique about it, right? So it's kind of what everybody offers, right? The second and most important thing is, if you want a canvas image on a frame and you want the face of the image to be this size, your image has to have 2 inches on all 4 sides to wrap around. So in the production of that image, if you cropped it nice and tight so that your image is centered exactly the way you want it, you're gonna find out that wraps around the side. Now, sometimes that's cool, but if it's a family image, or if it's a landscape, or if it's a wildlife, and half of the thing is kind of wrapped around the side, it looks kind of wonky, right? Most of those canvas stretched images, they offer them in like 3/4 inch thickness or 1.5 inch thickness. That's the thickness of the frame. And so when you order a 1.5 inch thick canvas stretcher frame, you have to have the 1.5 inch on each side and then 1 inch underneath. So that's 5 inches from all the way around on the top and the bottom. So your image that you prepare, the finished image, it's gotta be 5 inches wider and taller just to be able to have that on the frame. So sometimes that's cool, but I wanna show you an alternative. So it's still a canvas, but it's called a thin wrap. And it has a lot of advantages that the regular typical stretch canvas doesn't have. So first off, it's on the same canvas type of material, and you can order it matte or a variety of different finishes. Now, I linked each of these. There's a PDF that I'll attach to this video that you can download, and then I've printed it out for you folks here in attendance. And on the page 4, I believe it is, there's a reference resources section. And on that, it's gonna have some links to some of the things that I'm showing you, okay? So this is very nice. It is extremely light. I'll let you see it here in just a minute. But you'll notice that it has kind of a 3-dimensional quality. There's padding in the midst of this, and it's kind of a soft cushion. You can see how thin it is. It's very, very thin, high resolution print. What I like, on the back, it's set up with these 2 blocks. So when you mount it on the wall, it floats. So if you notice on the wall, it sits 1/2 inch off the wall. So it looks very, very nice. It's easy to mount, easy to order, and they're very good quality. You can take a look at that. And you can kind of take a look at that. So that's called a thin wrap. And I think there's a lot of different companies that offer it. You'll notice that my references that I put in that resource document, they all refer to Bay Photo. You don't have to order from them, definitely. I've just dealt with them for 10 years probably. I have a lot of confidence, a lot of faith in them. They do good work. I just had to return a print last week, and I got the return this week, that the client wasn't happy with the output. They gave me no pushback, no feedback. They took my feedback and said, okay, we'll reprint it. 24 by 36. They reprinted it and delivered it on Thursday of this week. So they're very good to deal with. They understand the concept of the artist needs to be happy with the output, right? Now you can't ask for something that it's not, but you definitely, they're very good to work with. So that's called a thin wrap. So that's a pretty good alternative to your standard canvas, right? Okay. So here's another one, and this one is kind of more upscale, I guess I'd say. And so this is called an acrylic. So this is a metal print that you're familiar with that is adhered to a block of acrylic. Now they make this in a variety of sizes. Again, I've linked to it on page 4. It is real high quality image reproduction. And I like it because it also has a floating frame here at mounting. And the mounting on this is a French cleat style. And if you're familiar with that, French cleats are opposing wedges. And so there's just a wedge piece of wood that you adhere to your wall. You just take a level and you put it on a little cleat. You put it on your wall, you get it exactly the way you want to, and then you just slide this thing on it. And it holds extremely well. So this is acrylic print. Would you mind carrying this around instead of passing it? It's kind of heavy, and then we'll just set it on that table when you get done. Thank you for your help. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You guys like that one?
It's great.
Good. All right. So this last one that or next to the last one I'm going to show you here, it is, get this out of the way here. It is, it's pretty unique. So I've looked for things, different methods of finishing my work. People want large prints very often, but they can't afford it. So I'm going to show you a 24 by 36 print here in this box that will be on the wall in, I don't know, a minute and a half, whatever it takes. And it is light and it's portable and it's less expensive. So if I sell a framed 24 by 36, that's $1,500. So that's a bunch of money. A lot of times people look at it and they'll say, I want it, and they look at the price tag and they say, I don't want it that much, right? So that's cool. So this is called an exposure, anyway, it's on the back there, exposure, and there's a link to it there. But I want you to see, this is the way it's shipped, just like this. So if you have somebody that sees your work locally, and they say, I want that, and I want that one, can you ship it? You just have Bayphoto ship it, and they ship this to them. And then I always send them an email with the confirmation, and I put a link to the video that Bayphoto has on their website of how to assemble this and put it on your wall. It is so slick. So let me show you what this looks like here. I think you'll be impressed. Thank you for helping. All right. All right, so it comes in this little box that they've made up where it has a compartment for the hanger and a compartment for the print. And it comes with a little hanger. This is the hanger that goes on the wall. It is super sweet. One screw, and it's self-centering. It'll self-level. It's way easy to do. And let me just get this out of here. Sit right there. Good boy. All right. Okay, this is extremely durable and extremely easy to do, even for a guy as dumb as me. So you'll check this out here. So it's got these side stretchers that stretch it taut that way. And then for the larger prints like this is a 24 by 36, they'll go up to 10 feet wide. And I'll tell you something else that's super cool about these exposure prints is Bayphoto's, again, I'm just giving them as an example. I don't know who else makes these, but here's where I've always bought them from. They make a gallery or when you go to an event, like a festival, they make a setup where you can order 5, 10, or maybe 12 or 15. And they've got this stand that folds out like, it's articulated. And it's got place you can hang all these things they attach on there, fold it up, it goes into a little canvas case, put it back in your vehicle and you're way to go. So it's a really neat deal. So this center stretcher bar, I'm gonna put it in the middle here. And then I compress the little ears, go all the way through. I'm gonna pop it into that guy. And then to tension it, is push like that, and it is tensioned properly. And that is what that looks like. Is that amazing? Look at the detail of that. I sent it at 450 dots per inch to get the print. It's very sturdy. This little hanger, it's made to go on this crossbar. You put this hanger on the wall, one screw hole, and that's it. By the way, I never mount stuff in people's homes. I'm not drilling holes in anybody's wall other than my own. I got plenty of evidence there that I'm not good at that. But it's outstanding. It has a lot of longevity. It's not solar UV. It's not UV impacted, I guess. It's fairly resistant. You can touch it. I always ask people not to, because you got stuff on your hands. But it's easy to hang. So here's the very best part about this. So I can sell this for $375 in a 24 by 36 inch print. You can sell it whatever you want to. They cost a whole lot less than that. That's what I price these at. It's very affordable, very profitable. Here's the deal. How many times have you had people look at your work and I love this one? I'd buy them both, but I don't have the room on the wall, okay? So they offer this as a kit with the image and the stretcher frame, and then you can order 1 or 10 or however many different prints that you want to. The client hangs the frame on the wall. Come spring, they put up a spring print. Take this one off, roll it up, put it in the closet. Come fall time, they put up another one on the thing. So it's very handy to be able to have that flexibility, and it's very cost effective, very good color reproduction. If you'll just hang on to that. Thank you so much for helping me today. A little round of applause for Jackie. All right. It's super, super interesting, and I think you can see, and they make those small. You can do I don't know, 14 by 20 or something, I don't know. They make them very small, all the way up to 10 feet. So they're huge, and they're really nice to be able to work with. Some of the larger ones have dual stretchers. They got it worked out as a science. It works like a champ. And like I say, the whole concept of being able to own that and own several different canvases and to be able to change it out when you want to, you got a party, you put up this, you got whatever it happens to be. So that's pretty cool. It's a really nice feature. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep us on track because you know me, I'll go long, I talk a lot, so we'll try to keep me on track here. Okay, and then the last one I'm gonna talk about, I didn't bring, but on the PDF, it's the last page. And those that have the handout, it's printed on the last page. And this one I'm really fond of. I took a picture of the one that I have in my home. And this is called the collage wall. And the collage wall is, you set it up how you want to. They have the software. They have over 80 different, let's just lay it right on top of this, it'll be fine. That'll be great, thank you so much. Or actually, would you mind setting it over on that table? Thank you. So this collage wall is really cool. Nothing unique about making collages, except the very worst part of a collage for me is figuring out what sizes I want, and then when I get them in the house, they all got hanging holes that are different. You drill about 25 extra holes just to get it all squared up, right? So what happens with these, it has the software, and you decide what's the wall space that I want to commit. So on mine here, it's 1.5 by 3 feet. Okay, so that's just a picture I took with my cell phone. So if you've got a wall, they'll go up to 10 feet by 3 feet. And you can put any type of matrix. They'll have it where you can have a Z pattern, large in the middle, large on the side, small borders, whatever you want. You use the software and configure it for however you'd like it. And then from there, it will help you generate the setup that it'll take to make the order. And then here's the cool part. When they ship it, each image has a number on the back, like A1, B3. And it has a great big piece of paper that you put on the wall, use a level, make sure it's level and square, you tape it to the wall. And it has X marks for each spot. They have these mounting things that are perfectly round, and the holes on the back of the prints, they mate perfectly. So you just go through on a piece of paper and you put all these hangers up, you rip the paper away, A1, A2, A3, B2, it is so simple. You're done in no time. It really works super well. This is excellent for a wedding or for a social gathering, or a lot of times I'll have people that like multiple prints. They don't have a lot of space, and the reason they're not buying today is because they can't decide, I want this 2x3, but I don't know which one I'm gonna get. Well, what about getting 5 or 6 or 8 prints that'll fill that 2x3 size? So that's kind of a neat little option to have there. Cool? So those are the ones I just wanted to show you how they work. Any questions on those items? Cool. Pretty neat, huh? All right, so we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to do some assembly here. And let me get together here. So we're going to start on kind of the first item on the agenda there. Oops. I'm going to still show some examples, just a moment here. So you've probably all seen, where you've seen these for sale. You know, you've got matted prints, they're in an envelope, they got a backer on them. I put my invitation card on the back. So here's some, I think these are 8x10s. Kevin, let me hand these to you. You can pass them around on your side and then take them on the other side there. Just some examples of it. So we're going to work on making one of those today. We're going to put one of those together. So that's going to be our first option. And kind of get things organized here. Yes, ma'am.
Do you print your photos at home?
I do.
Okay.
I use a Canon Pro 1000. I'm real happy with it. It's not necessary for you to buy the same printer, but they also make a Canon Pro 300. I think that's actually probably a better printer for home. The difference between those, and Epson and HP have similar printers, it's the width. So 13-inch is the maximum width on the 300, 18-inch is the maximum width on the 1000. You pay a lot for that extra real estate in both ink, desk space, and paper. So you have to make your decision. I'll be glad to demo or show you how it works. The prints that we're going to do now, I printed yesterday afternoon, and so I could have them for this class. Okay, so I listed on the document, again, I listed some resources where you can buy these type mats. I just buy these from the 25 pack, I think. Or I think that size, the small size, are 25 pack. These come in a 10 pack. Oops, and I forgot the backer board. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, well, okay, sorry, I forgot to bring the backer board, so we'll make it work. Okay, so basically I want to show you how to get your print from the printer onto the mat so that it's properly aligned, properly adhered, and works the way it's supposed to. So this is a couple of mats that I got from Amazon, and I think we're going to use black one. And so I just order these, they're already pre-cut. I listed on the resource document that you definitely want to order standard sizes. If you order some obscure size, you're going to pay a ton of money for both the mat and for the frame when you get to the point of framing. So try not to go an odd size, okay? Okay, so this mat is pre-cut, and I apologize. In my haste this morning, I forgot to get the backer board. It has a pre-cut backer board that goes on this, and we'll pretend like that's here, okay? And I'll show you on the next item what we're going to look at. All right, so this one we're going to do. Which one did I have for this? Yeah, we're going to use this one right here. Okay. I got my little printed cards, piece of lint-free cloth. We're good. Okay, so I've got a print here that is, like I said, I printed yesterday, Bronco Antelope here locally. This is a 13 by 19. So the mat that I ordered has the opening that's a 1/2 inch less than the print size. So I want an overlap all the way around so that the print will be behind it and we won't have any edge of the print showing, okay? And just for informational purposes, when I printed this, I put a 1/4 inch white border around the print when I printed it out. So that's what that's all about. Okay, so let's get some materials together. All right, so all we're gonna need is a little bit of masking tape. So this is where most people kind of get leery or get off track, is we're gonna use the barest minimum of tape that we can so that it holds it in place. We're not gonna tape all the way around the picture. The picture needs to hang from the mat. If you were to tape all the way around it, when the weather and the humidity changes, the print will wrinkle up. So it needs to hang free between the mat and the backer board, okay? So let's make sure I didn't miss any pieces or parts here. We're gonna start off, let me get my rest of my gear going on here. Okay, so these, whatever you do, don't drop that. Okay, so these backer board things here, they are the mats. They're kind of mass produced, as you can imagine, and pretty often they have kind of hanging participles. And so I just make sure I carefully go around this. It is kind of sharp there, so be careful on your hands. Dust is our enemy. So these are, these are lint-free wipes. They're not Kleenex, they're not tissue paper. They don't have any, they're made for clean room environment, but I buy mine at Amazon and just have them shipped, and it's way easy to do. So something that you can wipe there to get any remaining lint that's there. Okay, so this will seem weird when you're actually doing it. I want the print oriented so that the top is towards me and the bottom is away from me. So as I look at this, it's upside down, right? It's away from me. But I do that on purpose because I want the top edge where I'm gonna put the tape to be closest to me. And I'll show you why. So I'm just gonna take some regular masking tape. It would be ideal if you had acid-free, and I have some, I just didn't bring it today. So I'm gonna take 2 little old pieces of tape, and I'm gonna put it on the back, sticky side up, doesn't really matter. I'll put another piece right there. And then last, before I get anywhere, I'm gonna just blow off the print. You guys know about compressed air. Never tip it over. If you tip it over, it'll start blowing out liquid, and then you'll have spots of stuff on there. So it's gotta be upright. If you do that, you can see how it'll spew the liquid stuff. Okay, that tip is free. I won't charge you for that. Okay, so now I've got the print oriented so the top's towards me. I've got 2 little pieces of tape there. So I'm gonna take the mat and I'm gonna lay it on top, and I'm gonna keep this edge that's near me away from that tape, right? That's why I've got it this way. So I'm just gonna orient it so that I can see a little bit of that white border, and I'm gonna ease it down. And I missed it. And I'm gonna get it in pseudo perfect alignment. Okay, and all it's gonna take is that one little kind of press. And then what we actually have is the image is adhered by those 2 little old pieces of tape, but it's freestanding. So as I said, I forgot to bring the cardboard backer. My next step would be to turn it face down, put the cardboard backer on the back. I use 2 little pieces of self-adhesive tape, one on each side. I don't want to stick that backer onto this very securely. I just want it enough where it'll hold it in place. Because remember, it's going to go into a frame, and often the framer or the person that bought it from you, they may choose to use a different backer, or the frame may have come with the backer. So you don't want to put a whole bunch of tape on there that they've got to take off. So the next thing we're going to do is, pretending that this has got the backer on it, is those kits that I listed there. They'll come with these bags, and I'll kind of show you how we bag this puppy up. There's a little tiny secret to it. This had whatever 10 or so bags in it. Okay, so these little cello bags, they have an open end with a piece of tape at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it with the long edge on the bottom, lay it down so that it's going to flap over this way, okay? And then this is a little bit difficult without having the backer on there. And I'm going to scoot this guy in. And when you order the kit, it'll come with the right size envelopes. And then before I take the tape off, I like to take this edge and fold it over and crease it. And then when I come back and take my little tape protector off, there we go. If it had a backer on it, it would be ready to go out the door. So this one is 20X eyes. That's what I call that one. I just take two pieces of double-sided tape. So I suggest never putting a price on the plastic, like a sticker. I don't care if you use blue tape, don't put anything on there. It will leave a mark, and remember, most people are buying these for a gift. So don't put anything on the front of it. If you got to put something on there, put it on the back. I try and stay away from putting price tags on there, because if somebody's making a gift and they leave the show where they've bought your print and they deliver it to somebody else, they got to figure out how to get that thing off. So kind of make it easy. Post a price beside it or something like that. So this is how, with the backer, this is how I would make this ready to go. And you can have 20 of these things in a bin below the pictures that you're displaying, 2 or 3 of each of them, something like that. So this is a real handy, easy, cheap way of doing it. On the back, it's got my card that gives my contact information, and it gives the specifics for this print, the shutter speed and the camera and the lens and all that garbage that I put on there. I mean, all that good stuff that I put on there. Okay, questions on this method. So it normally would have a backer. Questions on this one? Pretty cool? Easy peasy? You guys done this before?
No.
Okay, it's easy. Don't be scared of it. All right, so number two method is going to be these guys right here. Okay, good. It's still tracking me. So these are Gator board prints, and these are prints that I've printed out a regular. This is 13 by 19. Kevin, you can pass those 2 on your side, and this way we won't have to crisscross, and you can pass these 2 on your side. It's on a rigid product called Gator board. It's critically important that you use Gator board, not foam board. I had Michael's, whatever the name of that shop is, make this for me 4 or 5 years ago. About 3 months, this is what it ended up like. If you notice, this will warp. It does every time. So that makes a cool seesaw, and that's about it, No real way of recovering this. So don't use foam board, use Gator board. I listed in the resources back there some where you can get this foam Gator board. Let me get rid of that guy. All right. So we're gonna Gator board up a front. You can just keep those in your side. That's cool. They don't need to see every one of them. That's cool. Thank you. So when you buy your Gator board from wherever you buy it, this was a box of 10. Shipping is what kills you. If you buy one item, you're going to spend 40, 50 bucks, you know, by the time you pay for everything. 10 of these was $111, so they're $11 a piece, right? So that's shipping, tax, everything. So it makes it pretty inexpensive. Let me just show you kind of what's going on here. So this was a pack, and they package it real nice, styrofoam and everything. This is a blank piece. It has the adhesive already on it, which makes it, like for you and me, pretty easy. Okay, you'll notice often I put on a little glove and I wipe things down because I don't want to introduce any of my, you know, body oils or whatever to the substrate there, and I want to make sure it's all lint-free. I've had more perfect prints ruined because I missed a piece of dust than anything else, right? So make sure you're making things as clean as you can. I move away from my work surface so that I'm not dropping this lint back onto my work surface. And I just go around this cut edge, so if there's any pieces left there, then I'll get rid of those. And then I'm just gonna quickly clean this up. Okay, so on the gator board, it has one side that has this protective film. The sticky stuff is underneath that. The back side, this is your show side. This is what's gonna be on the back of the print. So make sure you don't write or, you know, put any stains or anything on there. That's what they'll see if they turn the print over, right, like you just saw. So I'm just gonna lay this guy down in front of me, and we'll get the print for this one. Okay. So you order the gator board for the exact size of the paper that you order. So it's important, it's the paper. So this is a 13 by 19 print. The image is like 11.5 by 17.5. You're ordering it for the paper size so that it'll go right to the edges, okay? So let's work on this guy here a little bit. And all of these places have ordering software. I mean, obviously they make it where it works like a champ, where it's kind of easy for you to work on. So really all we need for this is a utility knife, something to clean with, and then some weights. So these are called print weights. They're just filled with lead shot, a little leather thing. These are way more expensive than you need to buy. When I first started, I used to had an old sock and I put a can of tomatoes in it. But you'll need 3 of them probably because they need to move around. Don't set any cans on the paper, on the print without a sock or something on it, okay? And a towel is just gonna make it a pain. Just either get print weights or put something in a sock, it'll be great. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this guy here is I'm going to get the alignment so that it's perfectly aligned with the edge. And then I'm gonna take these printer weights and I'm gonna lay them off to the left-hand side because I'm right-handed. And it's making that so it stays in place, right? So it's not gonna move. All right, so then I'm gonna take my print, and from the right, I'm gonna fold it over, but don't let it crease or bend or have any type of thing. So these are very soft. I like them a lot better than the can of tomato paste. So I'm just gonna put it like that. Take my little utility knife, and then it doesn't matter, 6, 8, 9 inches in. I'm just gonna come along and I'm going to make a cut through that backer. Put this on my left hand. All right, so I'm gonna peel that guy off. And don't touch that. And don't let this thing jump out of your hand. And I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna ease it right down. Don't go over the part where the cut line is right yet, because I want that to be a little bit loose because I'm gonna do the same thing. You'll see what I'm talking about here. I'll move this over to this side, kind of like that. We're gonna do this, like that. Could put on 2 gloves, but it's hard to do. Okay, so then I'm gonna peel this bad boy off. And then I'm gonna gently walk that down. Now we can go over the whole thing. And then there's a variety of ways of hanging this. I I tend to think most people buy this with the intention of putting it in a frame instead of just hanging this as it is on the wall. However, I've seen a lot of people that buy these and with the intention of framing them, and then, a year later, they send me a picture and it's in their, their bedroom leaned up against something. Who cares? If they're enjoying my work, I don't care, So this is the finished thing. It's all done. I'm gonna clean my work surface real quick, make sure there's nothing on there. We'll turn this guy over. Make sure you got the orientation right, that the top is towards me, so I know where it is. And then I'm gonna get the right name tag. Let's see here. Oops. Okay. So then I just put some double stick tape, one on each side. And there's lots of ways of doing this. I'm just showing you my down and dirty, cheap and easy way of kind of doing this. Remember, the top is towards me, so I'm going to put this on this way. And there we go. It's done. How long did that take us?
Not long.
2.5 minutes, something like that. And you can pass that around. It's stuck real well, but just make sure you got clean hands if you would. All right, everybody cool on that one? Okay. Questions on the gator board mounting system. Carol, what you got for me? Okay, so it's a real nice way of it's a nice and cheap way of making your work look better than taping it to a piece of cardboard, right? It's substantially an improvement over that. It's well done. It lasts forever. I think I have some that were 3 or 4 years old. Crazy me, when I first learned about that, I didn't buy the gator board. I paid the company to print and put it on the gator board and send it to me. And they charge a whole lot for that. Like I said, those boards are $11. That size print cost me about $13, $12 and 80 some cents to print that. That's ink and paper and tax and all that garbage. So I'm into that thing for 26, 27 bucks, something like that. So 25 bucks, something like that. So they're pretty inexpensive on that size. If I do smaller, obviously it's substantial less money, but that's a pretty easy thing to do. And then just a marketing tip, a lot of times I'll have those and people will see that and they say, I want it, but I want it in this exposure, or I want it in this printed thing. And I'd like to think about it. And I'll say, why don't do this? Why not give this to you? Take it home and show it to your wife, and you guys decide. If they take that thing home, the likelihood of them buying is pretty stinking high. And then if they buy the print, I'm just keep that. I just let them keep it. I'm not going to charge them to whatever it happens to be, for that. It's just an easy way. If you put it in their hand, they're pretty likely to, to purchase the thing. So works out pretty well. Cool. Any other questions on that? Okay. Let's just set it on the table behind you if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay, so the last one we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about, here's some of those. This is what it looks like when we've got the backer board on. I forgot to bring, I should have just ripped that one off and shown you, but this is kind of what they look like. So when I buy these matte, pre-cut mats, I buy the assortment, and they've got like powder gray, powder blue, and olive or light olive, just something that's not really bizarre. And I usually find a print that matches the colors and works out really well. So these are pretty inexpensive, and do it however you want to. I have found that I kind of go crazy on buying these and I end up with a whole lot more mats at home than I do with prints, right? So I'm not in a mat buying mode right now because I got a bunch of them there. So we're cool on that. All right, let's see. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up a notch. We're going to mat and frame a print, and we're going to make it ready to go for hanging, for selling, gift giving, whatever you want to do. So I think a lot of people look at this and they're pretty fearful of excuse me, my nose is running. They're kind of fearful of getting into framing like it's going to be way too much for them, and they're not going to be able to handle it, and I think that's not the case. I actually have taken I've attended a couple of classes, and with the purpose of learning how to do this, and it works really well. It's kind of a step-by-step process, and I'll take us right through it. It'll work like a champ. Just need to get the tools that I'm going to need out. Oops, need those guys right there. Okay, so the first thing on doing a matted framed print is determining the correct frame and mat to purchase. So if you were on your own on that and trying to figure it out by taking a tape measure out at your home, you probably order a couple of them that are wrong size. Trust me on this. So what you do is you go to a reputable frame place that has the little tools, and they say, what do you want the finished image to be? And then they're going to calculate the image, the mat opening, the mat size, the frame size, and the backer. So the company that I use, again, you're free to use anybody that you want to. I use a company called Art to Frame. I just love them. Their ordering software is super duper. It's listed on the resource page. Got a link to it on that back page or fourth page, whatever. So I like these guys. They have so many different varieties. On standard sizes, again, that's going to be your most cost effective. You just put it in there, you tell it your size, you upload your image, not your image, you upload your dimensions that you want. So this is 11 by 17 print that I made here. And on this 11 by 17 print, I know that I want the opening to be smaller than that. I've done this enough times I can calculate that right quick what I want, but I want it to be a 1/2 inch or 1 inch smaller than the print. So if it's 1 inch smaller, and that's 11 by 17, then I want a 10 by 16 opening, okay? You don't have to do the math yourself. This software does it for you. Just put it in there. But by having it an inch smaller, that means there's a 1/2 inch overlay all the way around. So the image will be 1/2 inch underneath the mat opening. So that gives us plenty of room there to get that mat situated. Cool? One last thing is if you put your signatures on the print, make sure you're not all the way against the edge, or you might end up having to juggle a little bit to get that situated. You'll figure that out as you go forward. So I ordered these, shipping kills you. I ordered these guys, pardon me. I order these things in batches, like I'll order, a half dozen this size and a half dozen 13 by 19s. And I do a pano that's 39 inches long. And those sell pretty well. They're expensive, the shipping kills you. So truthfully, what I do is they offer a lot of specials, like first timers get free shipping, or, come back and order something and get 25% off or something like that. I just wait for those and then order a bunch of them, right? So, here comes these big boxes and it's got all these things in them. I leave them wrapped up until I'm ready to use them. I don't want them sitting on my, living room floor waiting, unwrapped and, getting, dust and stuff in them. So this is kind of how they arrived. They got the hangers on the back. Just a handy little process there. Okay, so let me get to my page, make sure I'm covering everything the way it should be. We're on the third option, which I think is page 3. So the things that we're going to need this setup, which is consists of a pre-cut mat, pre-cut backer board. It's going to be the picture frame with either glass or plexiglass. It's certainly up to you. I don't want to be selling my work on price. I don't want to say, mine's $10 cheaper than Albert, so buy mine. I don't want that to be the reason. But the difference in price between glass and plexiglass on a large frame, it's hundreds of dollars. So this item, if I go 24 by 36, which is a huge frame, if I go with glass versus plexiglass, it's about $220 more for the glass than it is for the shipping and packaging and the glass product and stuff itself. So it just kind of depends. I typically go with plexiglass. The people that are buying my work, they haven't seen it for months on end. They come by, they see it and go, I want that. How much is it, right? And so that's kind of how that works usually. So I typically go with plexiglass. You can do glass on my smaller frames, like 8x10s, and that's only one, I guess. They're pretty small and compact. I do glass on those because it's not that much more expensive. It's a couple of bucks. It does look nicer. It's kind of nice on those small ones, but that's what we need. Okay, we're also going to need brown craft paper. You've probably seen this. You can get it Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Walmart might have it, I don't know, but I order so much stuff from Amazon, I just put it in a basket and it comes. We'll use that for a backer. The hangers on these guys, they put it right in there. It's right in the thing there, so it's kind of easy to do. You'll need your personal info card. That's what I call the card that I put on the back that has the information about the print. And then you'll need 3/4 inch masking tape, which is this stuff, just regular old masking tape. You'll need this a roll of double-sided tape. Don't try and do this with this stuff. You try and do it with that, you'll pull your hair out and you'll look like me. So you'll just need a roll of this. This is double-sided tape. It has a backer on it. We're going to lay it out, and then you'll see here in a minute, this is much easier to work with than that dispenser like that. They do make an automatic dispenser that takes this. It's way handy. You just like that and it cuts, and those are nice, 30, 40 bucks or something for a dispenser. Stick-on rubber bumpers. These are the little guys, they're just little rubber bumpers that I'll put on the bottom corner so that it, when somebody slams the door, the picture doesn't, bounce on the wall and stuff. Compressed air, we've got that. Lint-free cloth, we've got that. And I kind of gave an example down here of how to do the sizing. But like I said, don't worry too much on that. For the point is that, excuse me, the point is to do that where use the software will help you do the ordering on its own, okay? So that works out pretty well. Okay, so let's get after this thing here and see what we got. You coming to my rescue? Thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna disassemble this bad boy and we'll get us going there. And the example that I put there is this actual print. So this is called coffee. That's the color of this frame. Oops, I cut right through the little packaging. That's okay. I'll recover that here in a minute. Okay. Thank you so much. Awesome. Let me just step off camera here just a minute. Sorry. Oh, my nose hadn't adjusted to inside temp. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so let me just get this unpackaged here. That probably sounded good on the microphone. Okay, there's no upside, no downside, top, bottom, until you put the picture in there. So the plexiglass has got plastic covering on it right now. You can kind of see the color of it. That's not black, it's just called coffee. It goes good with mine, landscape and wildlife, whatever. You can choose whatever. They got pink, they got orange, fuchsia, whatever you want. You can put anything that you choose on there. I do recommend that you buy something that's pretty generic. It's going to go with your style of photography. You don't want to end up with a couple of prints or a couple of frames that don't match your printing because they're not in your kind of genre, that type of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this real quickly. I just use this as a cheese knife is what that happens to be, right? So I'm going to use this and just fold these little guys up. And take me just a minute here. If I don't use this, it messes up my fingernails, and you know how important it is to have good fingernails. Okay, so just as a guarantee here, I'll pretty much guarantee you that when I open this thing up, there's going to be all kinds of dirt and debris and cardboard pieces that are cut off. So I move away from my matte surface and just going to push this all out. Set that aside a moment, set that aside a moment. So I got to work on this guy. And it's got this film on both sides. If I do it over here near my print and near that, all the static electricity coming off this is going to jump on that bad boy And every dirt and piece of hair in this room is going to jump to that thing. So I'll move over here and kind of peel this stuff off. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take the frame and just blow around the inside of that. Remember to keep that bottle upright. All right, so just kind of stepping away. All right, and then here's a super pro trick. I use some used dryer sheets. Don't use a new one. If you use a new one, it's got that chemical on it and it'll put a gel on your thing. So I just go around this guy, try and knock the static down. And then I'm just gonna put that guy back in there. And give it one more. This will be one of many. So remember to bring the frame to the bottle, don't tip the bottle over. So we'll just kind of. All right, let that sit there for a moment and we'll look at this guy. All right, same thing on this. We're gonna get rid of all the debris away from my mat. These are really sharp. The bevel will cut your finger. I've done that before. So kind of be careful on that. And like I say, try not to use a paper towel for this. Use one of these lint-free cloths. You'll introduce, lint right back in there if you use one of those paper towel type things. And this usually has a lot of garbage on it. Okay, so the backer board has two sides, and I call this the show side. This is the side I want the client to see if they happen to dig around in there. We're gonna cover it up, but if they saw this, this is the show side. I don't want to advertise for Art to Frames, right? So this is gonna be back here. So I'm gonna set it down with the show side down and put my mat right on top of it. And all these step-by-steps are in your PDF document. Let's get a document to her there if you don't mind. Thank you so much for helping me. We're gonna hang on to these. We're gonna use them again, these little used dryer sheets. They're really good. And who doesn't have a lot of them, right? Okay, so what we've done, following along here, I've got everything out. We've wiped it down, kind of sprayed the inside, laid a backer board on your work surface. Now we're gonna get to the print thing. So we're gonna move this out of the way again. And just like we did a moment ago, when we set the print down, we're gonna set the print down so that the top of the print is towards me and the bottom of the print is facing away. It doesn't matter the alignment right now, we just set it on there. It doesn't matter how it's aligned on that, okay? So we're gonna now adhere this to the mat, and we're gonna put the mat and the backer board as a sandwich into the frame. And then we're gonna put a backing on it. Everybody cool so far? Okay, so again, just acid-free masking tape, and we're just gonna put 2 pieces of masking tape on the back, sticky side up. So we'll just do that here. Just to be different, I'll put this one horizontal. And just like I said before, this is gonna be all of the tape that we're gonna use to adhere this print to the back of the mat. It is hard when you start off to not go, well, maybe if I just tape it a little bit more, just a little bit more, maybe that'll be even better, right? Oh man. Okay, so right now the situation is just a real quick status check. The print is just laying on the backer board. It's got 2 pieces of tape with the sticky side up. The top of the print is towards me. The bottom of the print is away from me. I pretty much de-dusted that. I've done the same thing with the mat and with the frame. Carefully take the frame over here, with the mat over here, excuse me. I did wash my hands really good. I use gloves as much as I can. Anytime I round tape, I don't put the gloves on. I don't care what happens, the tape will find the gloves. All right, so the same sort of thing. I'm gonna hold on to the top of this while I get my alignment, and then I'm gonna ease it into place. Just like that. Okay, so if you look at that, you can see I've got pretty much a perfect white border all the way around the edge of the mat. So it looks very, very nice, right? These two are free of each other. They're not taped together. They're not going to be taped together. They're going to stay just like they are. So right now, I've got a matted image on our backer board, okay? There's nothing worse than finishing your framed print and finding dust on it, so we'll do this a lot of times. All right, we're going to bring the frame back. Lay the frame down. Anybody want to guess what the next step is? Blow it out. So we're going to, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think we did a minute ago, but this is so weird because I can see a piece of dust right there, but it didn't move, so I know it's on the front side. Not going to worry about it. The only thing I dislike about these is this cardboard has little pieces that invariably they will get on there. Okay, all I'm going to do is put two little tabs down. And this is where the serious inspection comes into play. See, look at that big old hair right there. That's not mine. I don't have hair that color. So that one's in there. Oh, it looks like I can get to that one. Okay, looks like a little dust in there on that side, a little bit on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out and de-dust that again. That's why I don't put all those tabs down yet. All right, one more try. Oh yeah, baby. That one's on the outside. All right, so I'll kind of walk around just a little bit. You can come close if you want to look. You can see the matting, the edge of the white is in perfect alignment. Come on up and take a look if you want to. And if you look, I'm really good on dust right now. Don't have anything there. Look good to you? You give me a thumbs up? She did a silent thumbs up. So then this is what we're looking at over here. You can see the edge of the mat. I've got a uniform border all the way around. So we're good to go. So this is like part 3. We're almost there. All right, we're going to take our little cheese knife and we're going to push all these things down. Can't tell how many times I've left one up and I put the backer on and it pokes right through the backer and I got to rip that off and start again. I'm doing this pretty fast. I've probably done this 75 times, so take your time when you're doing it. And then I just run my hand around like this to make sure I don't have one sticking up, because literally I have done that a lot of times. I got to find my Kleenex, sorry. All right, so now we've got a pretty cool. We got a finished print that we matted, backer board, put it in the frame, bent the things down. And if you wanted to, you could put the hanger on it and you could use it like this. It looks pretty unprofessional, right? It looks like you went to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and you bought a print and you came home and you threw it in there, which may be okay. We're going to go to the next level and we're going to go ahead and put our backer on. And to do that, we're going to use that cool tape right here, and we'll use this guy. So this is double-sided tape with a backing on it. And I'm going to run it along the 4 edges as close to the edge as I can get without overlapping. And let me just do that. It'll be so exciting for you to watch. And then on the corners, just figure it out. I make one long and one short. You'll kind of see what I mean. So bump that up against that one. Okay. All right, one more and we're good to go. And you'll learn this real quick. Don't let one of them be on top of the other one, because when you go to pull the backing off, it'll pull that piece of tape right off the right off the back of your frame. So don't let it be on top of the one beside it. All right, so then we'll just peel this off. Come on now. And one more. Alrighty, so now we've got the sticky on all four sides. Here's a real pro tip. Don't set this down with the stickies out on your carpet, because that'll kind of mess you up. All right, so status check again. We've got the print is matted, backer, and the frame. Everything's pulled over. We don't have any dust, dirt, hair in there. And then we've got the sticky tape on the back, okay, right near the edge. So this is going to be how we get the backer on. And you just want bigger than the print, okay? Don't worry about it too much. Now here's a guarantee. There's not a chance at all that you can delicately put that thing down there and not have a wrinkle in it. So the magic is gravity. You just take that guy and just go like that. And it's now going to be on there just the way we want to. All right, we got to get it to a manageable size, which that is. Oh, we're doing good on time. Okay, so there's a cool little cutting tool that they make that's made exactly for cutting that. And all it is it's just a little thing that you scooch down, and it has an 1/8 of an inch gap between this guard and the blade. So you just run it down there, and it cuts the mat within an 1/8 of an inch of the side. And you'll see it, it's pretty cool. Let's make sure we don't have any garbage on the cutting surface. That's kind of weird. I don't have those 2 fingers. Okay, that's close enough. And really all I got to do is kind of get close on this one area right here. So that's close enough. This has a little keeper over the razor blade. You can look at this a little bit later and you'll see what I mean. So the way it works is we just keep this guard pressed against the wood, and we rip this guy down, and the blade is set an 1/8 of an inch in, and it cuts it perfectly, unless I screw up, which the potential exists. I think this thing was 12 bucks or something like that. I'm telling you, if you do many of these, it's worth it. And just like that, backer's cut. If you look, it's perfectly trimmed. Now, I go a step further. You notice how it's, it's there, but it's not a trampoline tight. So what I do is, you guys see a hair, oh, there you go, hair dryer right there. That's what I use to do my hair every morning. Maybe I can do it over here and the camera will be able to see it. I'm gonna plug this bad boy in. I thought I was going to. All right, and then kind of away from my mat, I got a little sponge. All right, it's a little bit damp. Oh, I have a towel. Who thought? Who would have thought? Okay, so then I'm going to take my newly done and I'm going to spray this a little bit. And it smells like a wet paper bag. You guys remember that smell? Mm-hmm. All right, it's pretty uniform, and now it looks like, oh, Bob, you screwed up. It's even worse than it was, right? I mean, it definitely looks worse, right? Yep. All right, let's get that bad boy banjo tight. It'll take a little bit, just got to have confidence. It's pretty exciting to watch me do this, huh? All right, looks like it's worse. All right, who had confidence that it's going to work? All right, good. And we could go a little bit further and get the wrinkles on the outside, but let me get over near the camera. That sounded terrible in the microphone, I'm sure. That's drum tight. So all we do from here is we add our hangers. If it's like that, where it's a cable type hanger, then I recommend don't pull it taut. Leave a little bit of slack so that it's gonna have a little bit of a bow to it. If it's banjo string tight, it's gonna bounce, right? So people walk in or what have you are gonna bounce. Let me put our little bumpers on the bottom. And all right, so those bumpers are going to hang against, the wall when this is on the wall, so it doesn't bounce, and won't leave marks on the wall from being hung there forever. What questions do you have on that one? A lot of steps to that. Any questions on it? Come on, let me hear something. Feedback. What do you think? Which one appeals to you? Which method appeals to you? So we started with in the envelope. We put it on a mat. We put a backer on it. We put it in an envelope, sealed the envelope, and we put the name card on the back. Yeah, like these right here. Questions on that method? How to order? How to make it work? Okay. Yes, sir.
When you're ordering mats, if you order a mat that's for an 8x10 print, it automatically comes to the right size.
Say that one more time.
When you order a mat for a print,
yeah,
like 8x10, it already comes smaller than the 8x10 size?
It depends. So you want to make sure when you're ordering that that's what you get. So for instance, 8x10 is a good example. So some manufacturers make an 8x10 mat with the cutout window is 8x10 because they assume you're printing 8.5x11 and you're going to put it on the back of an 8x10 mat. So just make sure that when you purchase it that you're looking for the right thing. Just before you press the order button, make sure that you understand what it is that you're ordering. You want the window size, the cutout window of the mat to be smaller than your printed image, smaller than a piece of paper. Cool. All right, the second thing we did, yes, sir.
Do you need to probably pre-plan when you're in Photoshop the size of your print so that you make sure that you get the print what you want and you don't mat over something that you wanted?
Correct, yeah. Wherever you choose to print from, whether it's from your software that came with the printer, from Lightroom or from Photoshop, whichever you do, make your canvas size the correct size so that we'll know exactly what what you're going to end up with. I've never printed on a semi-pro level software that didn't let you set the margins so that you're at the right spot so that you can choose how much overlap you want. So for instance, on the 13x9, I have a quarter inch margin because I want it to have just a barely white visible line showing on, this is 11x17. I have ½ inch on 11x17. On the other two there, the elk there, thank you. On this one, on the 13x9s, the two of them that I did today, I did this one and I did the one that I put on the mat and put in the bag. So this one I put quarter inch margins around so that you can see a little bit of white up to the edge. So you just make sure, definitely you got to plan how your print is going to look when you get done. Good question. So on the gator board, just make sure that you use the right gator board, not foam board. It just won't last, I guarantee it. The adhesion of the sticky stuff, it's pulling and it makes that board warp. The gator board has some structural integrity to it. They last, I think they have some kind of 25-year guarantee. Who's gonna go back 24 years later and ask for your $11 back? Nobody's going to, but that's what they produce it as. Questions on the gator board style of mounting? Okay, and then last hands-on we did was the regular framed print. So this was multi-steps where main takeaway I hope you have is that you got to constantly be on top of dust, hair, anything that's in between the glass and the print. It will show. And you have to make sure you go around the inside of the frame because it may not show now, but over time, if there's any dust around the frame, it'll come down. You got it exactly right. So you got to make sure that you're diligent on that. And then just don't be scared of making that alignment on the mat to the print. You're just going to look at it and ease it down. Even if you ease the mat down onto the tape, as long as you haven't pressed it fully, you can pick it up and move it around, jiggle a little bit. I've just done it a lot of times. I kind of know how to hit it there. So once we've got that done, we're going to just lay it on the backer board. Don't tape them together. That's another means of misalignment. So just let it be a sandwich. That's all it's got to be. Put her in there, fold over one or two of the tabs, look really good, fold the rest of them or look good again. And then when we do our backing, which I think really sets it off, if you look at this is light years more professional than looking at those, little old metal tabs, right? So this gives you the ability to charge what your product is worth. It really does. And I would put, after I put my hang on there, I'll put my card on there. I never put pricing on that because so often these are gifts. You don't want somebody to have to take a magic marker and, scratch through your tab thing there. This stuff is indispensable. Whoops, the glove. This double-sided tape with the backer on it, I bought this off of Amazon. I bought 3 rolls for like $10. And I've used half of this. So this is good to have, split it with somebody, buy 3-pack and split the cost or something. So that's really easy. When you put your backer on there, I guarantee don't try and go like this because you will mess it up. Just drop the daggum thing. Not from height, 2 inches, 3 inches, just let it drop and settle. And even so, it's not going to be taut like a drum. You gotta do the next stop. So, and you'll be scared when you wet it down. When you spray it, it'll be splotchy. That's why I spray it, then I use a sponge and I just make it uniformly damp. And then you saw when I did it with the hairdryer, it starts looking worse and worse. It's like, oh my gosh, I screwed up, right? So you gotta make sure you give it the time that it takes. Go all the way over. Don't leave the hairdryer in one spot too long. It'll really get pretty hot, you know. Look what it did at the top of my head. So, you gotta make sure you keep moving that around and just kind of point it up so the heat waves will come up, you know. It doesn't take long. I don't know, did it take me 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes or something to go from wet to really looking bad to finished product there. So that's kind of how we get there. Questions on how to get to this point with your print. Be advised, large prints and large frames get to be really expensive. And if you're like me, where I don't always, most of my prints, they haven't been sold. I'm printing them and showing them, or I have them ready. So if somebody says, what do you got? And I got these 6 items. If I had a whole bunch of 24 by 36 in frames, I'd have thousands of dollars sitting there with nobody willing to pay for it, right? So be cautious on printing really large unless you've got it pre-sold. The exposure print, which we'll talk about again here in a minute, those are just ideal. I think I have 4 frames, and I think I've got, you want to come around that in the U there for me, if you don't mind? Thank you. I think I've got 8 maybe prints, and it's pretty handy to be able to do that. You guys that know me know I do a lot of time in Rocky Mountain National Park and Tetons and Yellowstone and Glacier. So I have a lot of prints from there, which I love, but they're not as popular here in the Black Hills as local prints are. I do sell some of them, but I print those for my use. So if they're not being sold, they're on my wall, you know, and I like looking at it. But for my local stuff, like that's Wind Cave, that's a local print, you know, that's the breakfast spot, what I call it. It's up on Bison Flats at south end of Wind Cave National Park, a real special place. And so that's a print that is sold a couple of times. So my 39-inch long framed panorama, I've got of that, but it's much wider. City of Sturgis bought a couple of them. A couple of people have bought them. They're $625 a whack, and they're nice, but you got to have a lot of real estate, you know, on the wall. This is, when people see this, if you try and explain it verbally, it's like, yeah, that sounds cool. When you show it, especially assembling it in front of them, it's a game changer. And then you talk about, hey, and you could buy 2 extra prints and change it out in the fall and the winter. And that's a real thing. And I'm not trying to be gender bashing or anything, but here's the deal. When you're selling to a couple, you got to sell to the wife. I'm just saying that's the case. That real estate on the wall, that belongs to her, and you got to get something that appeals to her. So you're not going to buy a great big old stinking, you know, bull elk that's, you know, snorting and stuff. You got to get something that appeals to the whole family. And the concept of, I'm going to give up this amount of space on the wall, but I don't have to look at that 12 months out of the year. I can look at it 3 months. And I can change it, and I can go another 3 months, you know, something like that. That is huge, and you end up selling 3 prints, and from a profitability standpoint, to me, that's easier to transport, it's easier to mail. It comes in that little triangular tube. They'll mail it from Bay Photo, mail it right to your client, you know, and you got the link of the video right there. So this is a real cost-effective way of getting your art on somebody's wall. And to me, that's what I'm after. I like it when people say, I love that, but I can't put it on the wall. I want them to send me a picture of where it's on their wall. You know, here's the couch, and there's the cat sitting here, and here's the picture on the wall. That's cool to me. I like seeing my artwork on people's walls, and it just looks cool. So that's a pretty easy way of doing it there. Questions on, yes ma'am?
So the mounts on that.
Would you mind coming down this way so the camera and I can both hear you? Come on this side of the camera if you don't mind.
I was wondering, so when you remove this print and put another one on, does this just peel back off of the?
Nope, they stay on there.
So that stays on there, so you can.
Permanently affixed on that print.
Okay.
The next print has the same four corners like that.
So you would just get more of the corner.
No, when you order this print, it comes with that permanently attached.
Oh, okay.
So I got 8 of these. All 8 of them have those in the corner.
Okay, they're already.
And they're perfectly in the
attached.
right spot. I wouldn't want to put them on there, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I should have made that more clear.
I'm sorry.
All right, so that's the exposure print. How many, you guys like that one?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Can you see yourself ordering one of those, or one or two of them things? And then we had the acrylic print, and the acrylic print is way cool. I was going to bring a metal print. I think everybody's seen them, and I forgot. It's where that other item was that I forgot. But when you look at that print, to me, it goes way beyond a metal print. Metal prints are pretty popular for a good reason. One problem with metal prints is, they'll scratch easily, and then that's the end of that print, right? If, something bumps into it, you're carrying something up the steps, and it's got something sticking out, and if you drag it across the face of a metal print, if it scratches it, it's done. So this is a metal print with an acrylic on top of it. So I really like that. Yeah, Albert?
Yes, is that, with the acrylic, is that substantially pricier than the just regular metal print?
Yeah, it's, I think this is a 16 by 20, and I think that was 145 or something like that. But it's up to you how you value that. Even metal prints. When I buy metal prints, I go for kind of the top end ones. It's how you value your finished product. So when I look at that as being more costly than a metal print, that's cool, because the person I'm going to sell it to, I'm going to charge them more, right? So I want the value of that finished product. I want them to see the value. I want them to say, I can't get this anywhere else. I like that, right? So I want them to associate buying something from me with the value that I'm charging for it. So it's more than a metal print, yes. Kevin, do you have a question?
That glove that you have, is that nylon or is it cotton?
They're just cotton gloves. These are just, generic. Again, from Amazon, I think I bought a pack of 100. It's 50 pair, and I think it was $14 or something. They're just, that's all they are. You can have a pair. So those are very useful to, when I'm touching it, it just drives me crazy. The time that I'll find a spot on that or a piece of dust is when I pull into the driveway of the person I'm going to deliver that print to. That's when I'll see it, right? They may never see it, but it's not going to work for me. So I try and use those as much as I can. I'm religious about my work surface, because right now, even though I've cleaned it, there'll be stuff on there. And before I set a print on it, I just take those gloves and I wipe them off again. You guys probably saw me wipe it off multiple times. It's that transfer of the dust and the, whatever the garbage is, to your print or to your backer or to your mat or to the glass. I try not to lay the glass down on anything once I've cleaned it. It goes in the frame, and I set the frame somewhere where, it's not going to be physically laying on something. So that's the easy way of doing it. Yes?
What are you using for your work surface? What's that green?
Yeah, this is called, again, Amazon. I've got a couple of them, different sizes. This is called, they're just called work mats. This is actually made by Work Lion. So the way this works, it's got a grid for graphic people, and it's got some stuff on the back. You can cut on it with your utility knife, and it won't damage it. So it's intended for that. And it doesn't embed dirt too bad, but if there's grit, it'll get on there. So I don't set stuff on it. Like when we brought stuff in from outside and I had it there, I said, don't set that on top of the mat. It's purely because the bag that we had that I had set on the ground outside, I don't want to set that here and have it embed that into this. So I just do my best to keep it clean and keep it, kind of grit free. Yes?
So the other thing on these mats is don't roll them. You can't roll them up because they do bend. This is, you can also find these at quilt or fabric stores.
Yeah.
That's what these are typically used for, is for cutting fabric on.
Yeah. So interestingly, these come rolled. So they're in a box about that size.
Interesting.
And but there's a certain curvature that you can't go beyond.
Right.
Now I've got a big one that's 36 by. It's bigger than this. It's quite a bit bigger than this, and it came flat. I would have thought they'd have rolled that one. I mean, it's huge. It's as wide as this table and deeper and stuff. So yeah, they're nice to have. I live alone, so I have stuff all around my house that nobody tells me to clean up. So this lives in a place where I can get on it regularly. If you've got a house that's not like mine, you got to find a place to put this, right? And some people put it under their bed, and I just to me it's like, and there's all that dust again. So you put it wherever you want to, behind the door, in a closet, something like that. They're nice to have. This is pretty inexpensive. This size is probably the easiest size. This is 36 by 24. And it's pretty good size, especially you saw when I rolled the the brown craft paper out, it sticks over the edge, but I'd never have prints in my home that are any larger than 18 inches wide, so I can orient it that way. This is a good size to have. It's fairly thick and heavy. You'll find when you come up and feel it here later, you can get the name, take a picture of it or something, right off Amazon. I think this delivered about 48, 50 bucks, something like that. The bigger one was 100 bucks or something. So, they're easy to get. Like you said, I think you can buy them local. There's some fabric store out, like Joanne or Jolene, I think it's Jolene. One of those places, you can get those there. So that's pretty cool. And then next we talked about the thin wrap as an alternative to traditional stretch fabric, canvas mats. And I like this for a lot of reasons. I think we passed it around, so I think everybody was able to feel the weight of it and also kind of the quality of not only the print, but how the backer worked and how the hanging system worked. If you think about the regular canvas prints, they hang on on a wire usually or a hook, and they're right against the wall. I just love floating hang prints. So that has a nice, easy thing. This is dirt cheap. This is 11 by 17, I think. And here, let me just measure real quick. I think that's what it is. Yeah, 11 by 17. And I think that was 38 bucks or something. I don't know. And then I order a bunch at the same time. So shipping is, if you order one, you're going to get beat up. If you order 5 items, then the shipping is, going to be less per item and stuff. And then just as a point of reference, if you're selling your work, I think it kind of behooves you to keep a spreadsheet or something, and you got to factor exactly what this cost you. So I know from my supply cost, my ink and paper, shipping, tax, what it costs me to print a 13 by 19, 13 by 19 or a 13 by 39 or whatever it happens to be. I like to have those all done, and then my mat, and my board, and my backer, and tape, and whatever other stuff. So I like to have an idea what each finished product cost me. And that's just raw cost. So somehow you got to factor in your experience, your photography equipment, your travel stuff. You can't do that, but you got to come up with something that's, in my mind, not trying to tell you what to do, but I think profitability is important. You can't do it as a pauper. You kind of got to have a way of making it worth their while. And I'll tell you this, it'll sound crazy, but the people that are buying framed artwork, they're in a cash flow scenario that are different than the folks that can't afford a $35 print. And those people that can't afford it, if you look at a $150 print and you look at a similar print of the same size that's $400, they spend more time in front of that $400 print. They do. I don't know what it is, but I'm not saying that it's a given, but there is something to be said about you establish value for your product by setting that value. This is what it takes for you to take this home. And I think that is something that has worked for me. I'd rather sell a lot fewer prints at higher profit margin. I'm not going to be in competition with these online print stores that'll ship it to you in 2 days. It's not me. I'm not that guy. So some of that might work for you. Some of it is crazy talk. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Let's see. And then we talked about the wall collage. Those things are really cool. I almost would say if you're entertaining the idea of ordering something for you in your home, do one of those. They're cool. Albert, you saw the one in my house, right? It's pretty cool. I mean, it just occupies, it's not like, people would say, boy, you did a really good job hanging those. And I want to tell them, no, it was easy. I put a piece of paper up there. I just go, yeah, that's pretty good. I did good work. I'm just like that. It is super simple. You put a piece of paper on the wall, you get it level, you put tape on it, you put the pins on the X's, you tear the paper away, you put the pieces up there. It looks awesome. And they offer those collage prints in metal, gator board, a few other ones. I don't remember which. But I think mine, I've got some that are 6 by 6, some that are, anyway, mine are all, the largest one in my collage is about 4 by 12, maybe, something like that. And it looks cool. And so from 10 feet away, you're not looking at the micro detail, but you capture the essence. And on mine, it's all wildlife. I think I might have I don't remember if I've got a landscape in that or not. I kind of change them out every once in a while. Let's see, and the one that I have, oh, I do have a couple of landscapes and a couple wildlife. So, and you can see the form factor. So that was 5 prints. You can order them with, 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, whatever size matrix that you want. Cool? What do you think?
I like it.
Cool. Well, thanks.